Big match tomorrow. Manchester United taking on Manchester City. For United, it's all about the top four. For City, it's about the title. Before we get the views of the boys in the studio, let's go to Manchester and welcome in Mark Ogden. Mark, let's start with United, shall we? What's the rhetoric that's been coming out from Old Trafford, from Solskjaer over the last 24 hours, considering what happened against Everton?
Well, it's been basically Solskjaer's been saying that, you know, they need a performance. There's no hiding place, is a quote he said today. There's no hiding place in the game against Man City after the performance at Everton. It was so bad. I mean, in every department, it was just abject. It was probably the worst United performance since Alex Ferguson left, you know, almost 6 years ago now. So, you know, United have to bounce back. Obviously, the downside is if they bounce back and win, then it makes it a lot easier for Liverpool to win the title. But I think they've got to put that out of their mind. They've got to start thinking about themselves. They can still get in the top four, qualify for the Champions League. And I think it's massively important that United now put on a performance themselves for the fans and forget about who wins the league, because whether it's City or Liverpool doesn't really matter. But it's not good news for Man United. So they just got to look after themselves.
Mark, is that a real thing? Like, will fans genuinely be will United fans genuinely hoping City win tomorrow because of Liverpool? That seems ridiculous considering the situation United are in going into this.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, yeah, I've lived in Manchester all my life, and the one thing that Man United fans will tell you is that there's only one rivalry that matters to them, and that's Liverpool. Man City, until recently, until Sheikh Mansour bought the club, didn't really register. They'd never been a real threat to United over the years. It's always been Liverpool. Now and again it was Arsenal, even once again it was Leeds, but Man City had never really mattered to United. Until recently it was all about City. Used to be a bit of a joke, you know, they were laughed at by United, but now it's changed. But it's a deep-seated rivalry with Liverpool. It goes back, you know, over a century. It's all about the most successful club in England, and Liverpool and United are two top clubs. So that's why United fans would rather City win the league. Well,
excuse me. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really matter what the fans want. It's about what the players need to do. And let's be honest, they're struggling to get in the top six, right? Sorry, top four for Champions League. And that's the most important thing for this club going forward, not what Manchester City or Liverpool do. The other side of the coin is about, as Mark said, about Solskjaer saying we need a performance. He probably said that after the Watford game at home. He probably said that after the West Ham game at home. He definitely said it after the two Barcelona games, what they expected to lose. And then he's having to say it again, even though they won the Watford and West Ham game, the performances were abject. Now, the performance against Everton was abysmal. Yeah. It was absolutely abysmal. Now, even if United up their game tomorrow, it would still take a Manchester City really poor performance to allow them to get anything out of it. That's how big a difference, that's how big a gap there is between these two playing squads.
Solskjaer's only really had 2 days, yeah, with the team since that defeat against Everton. How much can he do realistically in that time to get this side ready for this match tomorrow?
Tactically, probably nothing. But this game for them is not about tactics. It's about getting some face back and getting some pride back. And unfortunately for Manchester United, the last team they want to face is Manchester City. You know, I hear all this talk about Solskjaer wanting a performance. When was the last time we got a performance against a proper team? You know, are we going to start saying that getting annihilated against PSG and a miracle happens in getting through, is that a performance? Is that really a performance? I can't imagine how Manchester United win this game against Manchester City.
Are you expecting a reaction? There's got to be some sort of reaction, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a performance that they need. It's a pride, like Stevie said, like a reaction as men. They have to go on the field, you know, as warriors. Because, of course, and Craig said it at the end of his explanation, between the two teams, there is a big gap of quality. And it's not only the performance, it's not only the pride, it's not only being a warrior, it's not maybe calling the god of football to win that game. So it could be, if they lose, it could be an excuse for the fans saying that they don't want Liverpool to win. But you have to face the reality of the quality of, or the non-quality of the Manchester United squad, comparing to what we knew in the history of football. They really need to react during the summertime to find a better team, because Manchester United is not anymore Manchester United.
I say it again, I said it yesterday, Dan, that when City are in possession and the two full-backs push on and the wide guys kind of tuck in, if they lose at City, if United had watched what Tottenham did, which was hit the ball early and over the top to expose on Saturday or at the weekend. It was Laporte and John Stones.
Sure.
I don't know what the centre-half pairing will be for City because it could change. But that's an Achilles heel for them. That's a vulnerability that when the left sort of 2 against 1 or 2 against 2 as the fullbacks push on, when Eriksen in particular was lobbing it in behind and Son was running in, it caused them all sorts of problems. That's the only way I can see sort of United exposing that back line.
The reality of this game is that it's about Manchester City.
Correct.
If Manchester City put the effort and the commitment in that they have done over the last, 18, 24 months, then they win the game. Because if you've got two sides giving it all, it then comes down to ability. And if we're talking about ability, Manchester City are on a different planet to Manchester United.
It's not one player. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's not one player at the moment in that United team that would get into the City side.
No.
Normally you say
and I include David
yeah.
De Gea, yes, at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Not one.
Even Pogba. Pogba did well.
I wouldn't have him anywhere near that City side at the moment.
No, I agree.
Mark, can you paint a more optimistic picture for United fans at all going into this game tomorrow?
No, not really. It's difficult because, like guys say, if you were 1 to 11, you wouldn't really find any United players in that 11, and Pogba certainly wouldn't make it for me. Pogba's a massive luxury player, and I think he's great when it's going well, as it was in the World Cup with France. If he's surrounded by great players, he can be a great player himself. If he's surrounded by mediocre players, he becomes a mediocre player himself. He's not the sort of player that lifts a team to a higher level. He almost gets dragged down by the team's inadequacies, and I don't think that United can rely on Pogba in any game, and certainly not this one, because I think it's the sort of game that he goes missing, and he went missing in the Nou Camp last week. He went missing at Everton, and you look around that United team, and there aren't many players you can say he will turn up and give you a shift. I mean, you'd always want Marcus Rashford to give 100%, but he needs players around him to perform. So yes, there will be a reaction, and yes, they can't be as bad as they were at Everton. But I remember under David Moyes 5 years ago, United were absolutely hammered at Old Trafford by Liverpool, and thought it can't be as bad as that again. And the next home game was Man City, and they were hammered again 3-0. So there's no guarantee that United won't get hammered tomorrow night. I just think that if City turn up, and I think they will turn up, then it could be a really uncomfortable night for United.
Just a reminder of the record, when these two teams have met at Old Trafford, United have only won once out of the last 7 meetings against City, conceding 17 goals in the process. And whatever happens tomorrow, history will be made, because never in the Premier League era have Manchester United been less fancied by the bookies in a match at Old Trafford. 13-2 they are to win at home. Manchester City, big favourites coming into the tie at 9-4 on the draw. Meanwhile, 4-1. We've talked about Manchester City and how very much destiny's in their hands going into this game, isn't it?
Oh, I bet it's in their hands. It's as simple as that, and that's a good place to be. And if they get this game out of the way and the result goes to form, the run in for them is kind of decent. Okay, Burnley got themselves safe down at Chelsea, so it's tricky because the way they play. Leicester will try and play some good football, which is absolutely perfect for City because it'll be an open game. That's how Rodgers wants to play. And Brighton, I think they might be safe by the time they get to the last game because of depending on the Cardiff scenario. But the one thing is De Bruyne is not fit. But then again, how many times have I said to you in this show, when City name their team, I'll look at the subs. Yeah. And so as much of an issue that is for De Bruyne, there is always somebody almost equally as good to come off the bench.
Stevie, is it over tomorrow if City win? Or is it over now?
I've had that discussion with him on the golf course today.
You never talk about football on the golf course.
I think it's over
Well,
now.
no, but I did say to him a bit of a confliction tomorrow.
You're trying to put him off?
Well, yeah.
I think it's over now. I don't see a way that Man City lose any games.
Right.
Never mind drop points. I just don't see anybody getting in their way. And that means that they win all the games, they win the title. It's as simple as that.
Mark, do you agree?